The public outcry grew too loud to ignore, forcing the mainstream media to finally acknowledge what they've denied for years. Mysterious planes crisscrossing the skies, spraying chemicals over cities and poisoning the population. But don't be fooled. They're not telling you the full story. They're dodging the real questions. What are these planes really doing? Who is flying them? Why is nobody talking about the toxic, mind-altering chemicals they're dumping on population centres? And most importantly, who's pulling the strings behind all of this? Thanks to the collapse of the deep state's facade and the relentless investigative work of the TPV community and our partners, we've uncovered the truths they fought tooth and nail to keep buried. Before we dive in, join the People's Voice Locals community if you haven't already, and sign up to become a member of the world's first ever cyber nation that truly believes in life, liberty, and the pursuit of your dreams. Visit joson.com and click the Join Us button today. It's completely free. As the deep state crumbles under the pressure of the Trump administration, long-buried secrets are finally spilling out. Secrets they never thought would see the light of day. Like this. USAID, an agency that claims to be humanitarian, has been paying George Soros tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer money to interfere in US politics.
They gave $27 million to the George Soros Prosecutor Fund. So our own government is funding this left-wing lunatic who is hiring the most insane prosecutors who are letting people out of jail who commit violent crimes.
And that's exactly how this racket worked, that the ability to tax the American public and then effectively get us to pay for being propagandized, for being surveilled, that's the game.
But it doesn't stop there. USAID has been funding the spraying of the American population with chemtrails. Not for your health, not for your safety, for control. They've allocated $2 million, your hard-earned tax dollars, just to spray the citizens of Idaho with heavy metal toxins. This is not some wild conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact, backed by contracts that are signed, sealed, and locked in until 2027. And that's just one state. If Idaho alone costs $2 million, how much are they spending to poison the rest of the country? How many more states? And how many more lives are at risk? But here's the most disturbing part. Congress didn't just know about it, they approved it. A 5-year plan, fully funded, passed without question, ensuring that the spraying will continue uninterrupted through 2027. Think about that. They're not planning to slow down, they're planning to expand.
This is another one of those conspiracy theories that came true. Geoengineering is a real thing. There has been testimony in front of the United Nations. People like Bill Gates and people in government are using geoengineering, which means spraying chemicals out of airplanes in our skies, things like aluminum and barium that are toxic.
And what is the purpose?
To dim the sun. One of the sources of all life on the planet. They want to dim the sun. Aluminum is toxic to all life forms. It has no biological function, use, anything. And it's neurotoxic. They are spraying neurotoxins on us that we can't avoid, that then go into our crops, that are taken up in our rivers and streams, and therefore irrigation water. It's one of the most blatant, flagrant violations of informed consent that's ever existed.
Dimming the sun, that's the cover story. That's what the mainstream media wants you to believe. They'll tell you it's all about fighting climate change and protecting the planet, but that's just a smokescreen. Behind the scenes, the global elite are using the so-called climate crisis to justify their darkest agendas. Population control, social manipulation, and yes, chemtrails are no different. This isn't just about saving the Earth, it's about controlling the people on it.
Researchers from geoengineeringwatch.org were able to acquire a NOAA flying lab, which is just a plane that's set up for lab testing of the atmosphere. And what they did is they took this plane up right into one of these guys and took samples from beneath it, inside of it, and above it. And they found exactly what they were expecting. With that test, they were able to confirm that, in fact, they are spraying into our air a whole array of heavy metals, including aluminum, barium, and strontium. So what does this mean for us? They don't really care. Exposure to these kind of heavy metals are linked to things as small as cognitive impairments in children, like behavioral issues, sensory issues, ASD, or even ADHD, all the way up to conditions like Alzheimer's and even cancer.
But the people are waking up. They're rising against this criminal conspiracy. Thanks to individuals like you, those who refuse to stay silent, who've spread the truth far and wide, the lies are crumbling and the pressure is building. People everywhere are standing up, speaking out, and making it harder for these criminals to operate in the shadows. What you're about to hear is a transmission from a white hat pilot reporting an unidentified aircraft. The plane is dropping contrails without clearance, no flight plan, and no identification.
400.
At the same time, insiders with first-hand knowledge of the industry are stepping forward, blowing the whistle on the government's direct involvement in spraying its own citizens.
Chemtrail truth here. As most of you know, we're selling the plane, so we're not getting paid out anymore. This plane has been certified to use the chemtrail fluid DK5812. And so it holds 50 gallons in each tank here, and then the fuel goes in this one. And then right in the exhaust, just right up here, there's a injector that sprays the fluid when you turn on the switch. And the switch, it won't spray fluid unless the engine's running because it's like real toxic chemicals. So it needs to make sure like you're in the air. We get paid about $10 a gallon to spray the stuff. And this has a government issued retrofit kit. And you can see down here, they installed this switch. As you can see, it says chemtrails. You just turn it on and then you just collect money. That's how it works.
This isn't random. It's not a series of isolated incidents. This build-up, everything we've been exposing, is part of the final phase of the conspiracy. A phase designed with one goal in mind: total mind control and the systematic enslavement of the population in 2025. We're not talking about some distant future or hypothetical scenario. The timeline is real, the agenda is active, and every piece is falling into place right in front of us. When we come back, we'll break down exactly how they're planning to execute their agenda, and more importantly, what people across the country are doing right now to disrupt their plans and fight back. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. Under Biden, the price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this testimony of Joe Tippins, a cancer survivor, thanks to fenbendazole.
2 years ago, Joe Tippins says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine. Specifically, fenbendazole.
My insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved me.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkout. Please click the link below this video or call 256-664-4170 to take advantage of this fantastic offer.